Good evening, everyone, and do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Welcome back to Thelema After Tears. That's how we used to call it, right? It's been a while. It's been a long while since we've been here. I can see some of you are in the chat. Hello, hello, both of you. Actually, and we have a fancy counter, so you can see exactly how many people are watching where. This is an impromptu live stream to just celebrate the winter solstice, Yuletide, Christmas, maybe. I did put some Christmas tree here, as you can see. Trying a new, as you can see, I'm trying a completely new setup. It's a completely new streaming system. I don't know if this is working. I hope this is working. If it's working, let me know in the comments, right? That's the most important thing. First of all, how's everybody? It's been some, 6 months? Maybe more since we last saw each other. No, me less actually. It was it was on the 12th of August for the feast of the first night of the prophet and his bride, of course, and there was also the solar eclipse. And it's been some time. It feels like a year ago to me, right? So it feels like forever. I'm sorry if I'm sounding like this because, of course, I decided to. I took the chance to I felt like let's try this new thing, let's go back and streaming, and of course I got a terrible like sore throat, flu, whatever that is. So sorry if I sound a little bit rough, and if I am drinking tea, as you can see from the hum from the hill. So again, how's everybody? How you guys been doing in the last few months since we last saw each other? I can tell you, I'll tell you a little bit what I've been doing. Of course, been very busy, as you can imagine. It's also one reason why I disappeared. Actually, you know what? Let's first of all celebrate the fact that despite I have completely I've stopped streaming really in 2024. I streamed 2 times, maybe three, compared to the earlier, like the previous years it was like maybe once a month, twice a month. So like I just dropped this completely, and there is a reason why. But anyway, I gotta get there. Despite me not doing lives anymore, don't doing Q&As anymore, I just hit 4,000 subscribers on YouTube, and nowadays 4,000 subscribers is absolutely nothing, right? Like I mean, I remember back in the days when 400 subscribers was something. Like I never thought I would get to this point, and of course, again, it's really nothing. I'm not a YouTuber by any stretch of the imagination, nor I aspire to be one. I just really don't like what social media is. What's all this social networks? We're still tied to them. Obviously I'm here, right? But I really don't like the scene, the vibe anymore. So that's why you haven't seen me around really on social media much. However, you might have noticed that I've been posting YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikToks. There's a reason why I decided to experiment with that format. Everybody, all the social media managers out there, all the marketing gurus, which they're all grifters really. They'll say, you have to do studio, you have to do shorts is where it's at. And I can tell you, it really, I mean, it did bring more subscribers and it did bring more views across all my networks. But to be fair, the engagement is as low as it always was, and the truth is that I mean I like doing these shorts because it's easy, because from time to time I just like have an idea, hey, you know what, I can just like record this in literally 10 minutes and it's done, as opposed to like planning a live stream or planning a long form video. I never really did long form video, but everybody who's done that, they can tell you it's hard work, right? So if I don't know if you liked it, let me know in the comments. If you've seen them. I noticed that a lot of people have actually been commented on these shorts everywhere, like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. It's all new people. Like I haven't seen any of you regulars. In fact, that I see here in the comments. Hello Ngo, hello Christina. and of course, hello, Jessica. I mean, I haven't seen any of you, possibly because the algorithm doesn't serve it to you. That's the truth of the matter, right? Like another crazy thing of how social media works nowadays is that if you follow somebody, you can be sure you're not gonna see them. I don't know why, right? But it did work a little bit, right? So 4,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you for still following my video escapades. What has been interesting to me is that pretty much around a year ago also I decided to try Substack. So basically I decided to pivot away from video and going back to what I think I can do better, writing, right? I'm not a great writer by any stretch of the imagination, but I think I do okay. And so I kind of focused on that. My original plan was to try and write a long form article, Substack, blog post, whatever you want to call it, maybe once a week. It's impossible unless you just churn out crap. And so, but I've been quite consistent. I think I did at least maybe 2 a month in the last year. And to be fair, I went from 0 to almost 1,000 subscribers on Substack. And again, I'm only telling you these numbers just to get the conversation starter. And on that note, as usual, if you have questions for me on Magic, Thelema, my projects, whatever, just put them in the chat, and I'll get to them, right? So just we can do this in a little bit more interactive way. So yeah, Substack does work for me for my voice, for my content. This terrible term. It seems like it works very well. So you can expect more of that. If you're not on Substack, it's free. There is the option to support it. And as even here, there's the option to support me with super chats, super whatever it is on YouTube. I only on YouTube. I don't think if you're watching this on Facebook or on Twitch or wherever else I'm streaming it, I don't think you can do it there. But on YouTube, you could support me. Again, to be fair, don't, because most of those money go to Google, to YouTube, right? If you want to support me, you can do it on Substack. That's a very good way to support me. I resurrected Patreon because I am writing. Well, the second book is all written, and I've been sharing a little bit from it, the unedited version of that book already since September, August. I don't remember. Like pretty much, I've been doing it. I kind of slowed down a little bit because, and I'm going to tell you more about the new book, because the production plan has stalled a little bit. It's not my fault. It's not anybody's fault really. It's just that I finished the manuscript too soon, just because I had it prepared for many years before, right? So Watkins was really expecting it more around now to start the editing process in February, and of course, so they had lined up somebody to edit from February onward. So, but I was able to send the early manuscript in October already, and they wanted 50,000 words. I gave them 90,000 words. So you can expect that there will be a lot of cutting from that. Possibly a third book is already written. that's the truth of the matter, right? But again, it's a good place to be, right? It's better to have more options than less options, as usual. Okay. So again, if you want to support me, you have plenty of ways of doing it. It's better if you support me on Substack, on Patreon, or even better if you purchase one of my courses, which are all, by the way, on marcovisconti.org, and they are all self-paced now, because I think I finished I think also the course part of my my writing career, I think it's over for now. Everything that I wanted to produce, everything that I wanted to put together, it's there. Updates might arrive in due time, but for the time being, I am very happy with what I have. Just for instance, I'm thinking like the Magic Foundation course has now literally 48 hours of video material, plus all the all the written material and all the graphics and all the diagrams and whatnot. And that's only one, and I have 10 of them. So you can imagine there's a lot of work is gone into it, and I'm happy where it is, and people can support me by by purchasing that if they want to study magic. So let me go on the comments here. I see I have a completely new setup, as I told you, so I need to be. I see that Mayadeva say I see them in my Instagram feed always. I think you're meaning the shorts. That's pretty good. That is good to know, right? That's really good to know that somebody sees them, right? Because in general, I have no idea, right? Okay, first question for the night. Actually, the question that actually get me talking. So social media these days weird AF. That's true. I will say that's a big understatement. I really think it has become impossible for anyone who is interested in our fields, right? Social media always worked because of rage bait and because of reaction content, right? Like, so somebody said something and people say something a million time words, and the fighting start, and that's how you generate content. I gotta say, I've been guilty of this. I'm really sorry. Some of you have seen this. We're talking 5 years ago now, but I remember it. I've been very guilty of that. There's really no excuse. I should have known better, but I didn't. And at the same time, that was the time when I was getting the most views. The more people were finding me, more and of those people, a lot of people were like buying what I was doing, et cetera, et cetera. Because social media is literally engineered to break our brains through conflict and fuels conflict, right? And so I decided to step away with that. I mean, thank you for the question, Christina. In fact, it's something that I was actually aiming to get at some point. One of the main reasons why you don't see me as much here anymore, because it's just like the only thing that really works is like if I were to give my opinion on another author or on something that happened, right? And I remember doing this because I thought it was the right thing to do, and it did. It always backfired, right? All the fucking time. It did. No excuses. Like, it always backfired. So I don't do it anymore. The counterpoint is that social media doesn't really support me if I don't want to do reaction content. Like I said, I try to do like positive content a little bit, but it literally it's not as impactful as the rest, as reaction content. Um, Oh, hello, Justin. Good to see you. And yes, indeed, I too look forward to our upcoming chat. This is a little sneaky peek from Dr. Justin Sledge from Esoterica. I can tell you something, not much. He invited me to come back to his channel, and I will do it. It is always a pleasure to be in the be a guest of the premiere esoteric channel on YouTube. I think Justin is about to reach 1 million subscribers, which is mind-boggling and absolutely well deserved. I mean, well done, man. Congratulations. And so yes, hope to see you. Well, we'll see each other soon, virtually. Somebody was back to Christina for a second, right? She was asking me, will you be doing any standalone workshops or book promos when you come to California? So for those of you who don't know, I will be in California from the 20th. Well, I'm going to do a retreat in Joshua Tree. And I like to call it's called a retreat, maybe in-person experience with Peter Lavenda, my very good friend and person, an author that doesn't really need any introduction, certainly not from me. And we're going to be in Joshua Tree from February the 26th to March the 2nd. The name of the retreat, the in-person experience, is called Stairway to Heaven, which is of course harking back to Peter's book, and also the online course that we did together pretty much a year ago in February of 2024, at the beginning of the year. So this is bigger, better in person, right? There's still some spaces left, but if you don't sleep on it, right? Because when it's gone, it's gone. And And this is, I mean, like every person that tries to sell you something, as I'm doing right now, me, I'm very transparent. um they always say, "Oh, this is a one in a lifetime experience," but it really is. Peter, I mean, I was able to convince Peter to do something in person for the first time in 40 years. Um, and I don't foresee coming back to the US much for the next 4 years, maybe more. And you can imagine why, and we don't need to discuss such why because I guess it's obvious. So for me, it's going to be maybe the last time I will come to the United States in my lifetime, which is kind of sad because I spent a lot of time in the U.S. growing up, like literally as a child, and then as a teenager, and then I had a lot of great time all the years that I was touring the U.S. So I miss a lot of the places, but I feel like it does change, and let's keep it like this. Let's keep it festive. Let's keep it happy, right? It's Yule, it's celebration. So again, Christina was asking me, "Are you doing something standalone?" Spoilers. Yes, I do. I will be doing something standalone. Watch this space. I'm not able to disclose it exactly where and when, but I can tell you exactly. I mean, it's going to be right before the the start of the Joshua Tree retreat. So it's going to be the weekend before, and it's going to be in Los Angeles. Okay, but you will see. You will definitely get information. So you if you follow me on social media. Again, we cannot escape this. It's the 10th circle of hell, if you like. We're all stuck in it. You'll be able to, if you find yourself in LA, or if you decide to travel to LA, you'll see me somewhere in Los Angeles at a very it's gonna be an affordable event. Let's put it like this. It's not because I also realized that time is what it is. Times are rough. Money is tight for everybody, and so not everybody can afford the price. No matter how low we kept the price for the Joshua Tree event, which is very low, I can tell you, it's still a premium price. So you'll be able to see me somewhere else in Los Angeles the weekend right before the start of that retreat. Somebody is saying I love the well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. I mean, I enjoyed them as well. We were discussing earlier, but and I think I enjoyed them also because you remember this was like the height of the pandemic, right? Like we had nothing else to do. I really think that a lot of the toxicity that came out from those years, which fueled the machine, the social media rage bait machine perfectly. And so everybody, actually social media, we brought to the god of the algorithm the correct sacrifice, and they smiled upon us. But I mean, the bounty wasn't really long lasting, and we didn't do it. We didn't have anything else to do. I really think, I genuinely think, I thought about this a lot because I really think that I could have done better, and I didn't. I did a lot of stupid things this year. I said stupid things, not because I don't believe anything I said, and I want to be clear on this. I stand by everything I said, and I stand by all the position I took. But maybe I didn't need to tell those positions to you, right? Like, or to the vast public, right? I could have kept them for myself. As many other people, and many other much more intelligent and wise than I am did. So anyway, long story short, somebody's saying that your Gemini rising is just chaotic. Well, I'm Gemini Sun, so, and Sagittarius rising. So I know something or two about being chaotic. So yeah, let's say that I definitely played into that very much. So again, I won't be able to talk too much tonight, but I just wanted to spend some time with you guys. Let me know in the comment how's your Yule festivities going. Do you celebrate it at all? Did you do something for the solstice? We did. My partner and I went to Greenwich Park, which is nearby where we live, and we left some. We left some. How do you say it? What's that? Like an apple, an orange, and some pomegranate seeds on top of a tree stump that really looks like an altar. And it was so funny because as soon as we'd done that, Greenwich Park is one of the most beautiful places in London. It's on the Greenwich Meridian, so I mean, like, it's a powerful place, right? And it's a place that contains barrow mounds. Like there were like burial mounds from Saxon Anglo-Saxon time period, and it was like the palace of kings and queens, and then became like a public. It's a beautiful place. It's a unique place, and it's full of wildlife, like geese and ducks and squirrels and foxes. So as soon as we did that, like we were surrounded by all this wildlife, and they came and like we were just hand feeding them. It was quite magical. And then, it was nice. It was a nice moment, and I feel like from time to time that's really all you need to celebrate. The feast of the elements and the rituals of the elements and the feast of the times. I think I'm mistaking the liberal quote, but you have to be kind to me with me tonight because I don't feel very well. Oh, hello, Dushan. Frederick 273. If you don't know Frederick 273, you know that I always speak ill of other Thelemites, not of him. Dushan is one of the best Thelemites out there. He wrote a lot of very good books on the AA path. Look for Frater 273 online. If you don't know him, you should read his stuff. It's really insightful, and he's a generally good guy, right? Which in Thelema, as you know, it's not hard. It's very hard to find, right? It's not good in general. The vibe in Telemaland is never great. It's never been great, but it's particularly. I feel like it got even toxic, more toxic in recent years. So yeah, one more thing that I want to say. Some of you might have seen online that since I can never stop starting projects, and apparently I don't never have enough time to kill. Since I am pretty much waiting on the editing phase of my second book, which, by the way, has changed title once again. Do you want to know the title, or do you want to keep it a secret? Well, those of you who are on Patreon, you already know all the iterations of the title, and in fact, you already saw pretty much the final cover of the book. Anyway, since that is not starting for a few months, I decided to learn self-publishing. The reason is that once again, I decided to make writing my career. Right, those of you who know me a little bit, you know that I've been a professional musician. Then I work as a logistic consultant, digital marketer, and then writer. Right, and it's been going very well. I was surprised again, like by how successful commercially and critically, despite the usual nasty reviews from OTO people online. The book has done fantastically. But I realized that you'd always trade off something when you sign up for these bigger companies, bigger publishing houses. That of course, they give you a lot of help because they remove, well, pretty much like they pay you on front, and then that's it. Like you just have to write. You don't have to worry about marketing or printing or typesetting. Nothing. Like Watkins is really good at this. I can tell you. Like they're really really good. Marketing they could do better, but it's also true that I'm such a small fish in their very big pond. They have very big names. Maybe not so much in the magic category, but they work with mainstream influencers for food books or for self-help books, right? So there's people with people that you find them on TV. That's another level. Sorry again. So when you share the stage with those people, obviously that's where the investment in marketing goes mostly. But anyway, the trade-off is that of course whenever you receive royalties, and I've been receiving royalties all the time, like you get paid in every 6 months. Always received a nice check, which is it's nice if you want to make a living as a writer. But of course, like you realize, that's like a 20th of what you would have made on if you were self-publishing this on the base of how many copies that you have sold. So I learned that I've been studying the art of self-publishing as well. And I decided that I was like, before starting writing something on my own, because again, there's whenever you have a contract with the publisher, it's not 100% sure that the publisher will always go with your ideas, right? Of course, my book so far, the first one is for the absolute beginners, and that's why also it's sold very well. And by the way, for all the know-it-all Thelemites, that's also why I didn't bother with all the Crowleyan fine-tuning meaning of the pentagram, the fiat formula, or other things. It's because it's for the beginners. Dear Thelemites, if you keep obsessing over these things, you will never get more people into Thelema. So maybe you should learn something or two about how you actually get people in. Then when they're in, and then when they have studied the basics, the absolute basics, then maybe you can find those really interested and they can study and go more in detail, right? Unfortunately, most Thelemites nowadays just want to be Crowley point two. And since Crowley was really bad at writing for beginners, abysmally bad, look at Magic in Theory and Practice, which is a book an introductory book, which is non-comprehensible unless you fully understand many other things, right? And if you are fully literate on the matter. Anyway, since they want to be Crowley 2.0, that's why Thelema is still insular and still minuscule. But I think we're doing, we're doing our best to go past this hurdle. Anyway, so long story short, if I want to write something a little bit more advanced, it's not 100% sure that Watkins will invest in it, because if I want to write something more advanced, there's no market for that, right? Like they expect to sell thousands of copies, maybe tens of thousands of copies, as it's been happening. If I want to write about the secret meaning of the fiat formula hidden in plain sight in the pentagram ritual, I guess maybe 100 people would be interested in that, and that's pushing it, right? So I'm learning self-publishing. Of course, I decided that I needed to test my gears and see if I can actually do it. And by self-publishing, I mean, like doing everything. Getting the text, typesetting, do the cover, assemble it together, publish it, and market it. It's a long process, right? I knew, I have a basic understanding of Photoshop, and I started learning InDesign, I started learning Vellum. And the next bit is like putting that online for sale. It's easy, but then learning how to use Amazon ads or Google ads to market it, it's quite the learning curve, right? Because you have to learn how to bid, how keyword targeting works, how product targeting works. It's fun. It's fascinating. I like to learn, but I spent the last few months learning that. And anyway, this is it. This is what came out of it. It's, of course, Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is an hardcover version. And this is what, of course, you cannot see it because of the thing, but, God damn it, I don't think you can see it here. You can put it over here. Yes. This is what it looks inside. Let me see if I can actually show you a page with, like a starting page, because I went a little bit fancy, right? See? I don't know if you can see it now, because of course, there you go. So, why Dracula? Well, first of all, because I love it. Second of all, because it's a book in the public domain. So you can publish books in the public domain. You will only earn 30% of the royalties, which I don't really understand why, but that's how it is. At least if you want to publish on Amazon KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing, and which is the easiest thing to do it for somebody in my position. But anyway, long story short, I'm gonna try and test some of this and see if I can actually come up with interesting layouts, because I have an idea of what a more complex book that I could write would look like. For instance, 100-page book on a perfect analysis of the star ruby. I know what I would put into it. I know all the graphics that would go into it, and now I know how to produce it. Right? I need to do some more tests. Right. I mean, first of all, I need to actually write it, but I need to do a little bit more test on to see if it's marketable. Right. To see if people would buy it. Right. Amazon ads cost a lot, and it's a long process, but I'm loving it. By the way, if you want this copy of Dracula, you can find it on Amazon. It's called the New Eon. Basically, I put together something called Knubis Imprint, which is the name of my imprint. I don't know if I think you can see it. Perfect. And I also wrote a little essay on, well, on the of course on Nosferatu, Dracula, and the connection with the Fraternitas Saturni, which is something that, like I always thought that there's literally like, there's so many editions of Dracula out there, but there's no edition ever spoke about the more esoteric meaning of the vampire, how literally the myth of the vampire inspired Albin Grau, which was Master Pacitius of the Fraternitas Saturni, to put together Prana film, and in 1922. Not direct, because of course Murnau was the director, but put together, produce the first Nosferatu, and then Nosferatu Count Orlok is in fact a representation of the Gothos. The Gothos being the egregore of the Fraternitas Saturni. I think that contemporary members of the Fraternitas Saturni will tell you that things have changed, mostly because Stephen Flowers wrote the book on the Fraternitas Saturnis 20 years ago, and kind of spilled all the beans. And so I guess that the modern members of the Fraternitas Saturnis went back and restructured completely their order. So pretty much, it's almost like what I write about in this short. It's very short to say, like introductory, really. But what I write in there, it's more about the Fraternitas Saturnis of Gregorius, or Albin Grau himself. But I never found it. I never found it anywhere. Right. Like, so again, if you're curious about this, it's a little book. You can buy it on Kindle for £1.99. Like, it's cheap. And if I can ask you all a favor, actually, if you do buy it, please leave a review. Like, that helps a lot. And in general, like, I would say, like, if you can really do me a big favor, if you haven't written a review for my book, like the Lester Crowley Manual, especially on Goodreads, goodreads.com, which is basically, it's a website where you go and you write reviews. Please do. It takes 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a complex review, but it helps me greatly. Like, basically, it helps keep selling that book, pretty much, which is, it would be really nice. Don is saying, I like Nosferatu, I don't like Twilight. Well, me and you both. I'll drink to that. I'm very curious to see, of course, the new Nosferatu that's coming. Well, people in the States are going to see it in a few days. We're booked to see it on the first of the month, because the first of the month, so the first day of the year, the 1st of January, because it's coming out on January for us. But yeah, I've heard amazing reviews everywhere. So yeah. I'm really looking forward to that. Well, I mean, thank you, thank you for the support. The thing is, I need to see if it's profitable, and like, it seems like in esoterica, speaking about being profitable, or speaking about I need to make a living out of this, is a terrible thing to say. But folks, it's true. In the last 5 years, I've been able to support myself by doing this, by doing courses online, doing the Patreon, and all the things. Like, the reality is that I will do self-publishing if this test with Dracula, this test with the other few public domain books that I've been planning, if it works, I'll do it, of course. Even if, yes, I see like Amazon KDP has a terrible interface, and yeah, I mean, it's it really feels like working with the internet from 10 years ago, right? But what you gonna do? That's what it is, right? But anyway, like I'll definitely do more advanced, more specified writings if it works. If this test work well, it means that there's going to be it means that I'm able to market them. It means that I've it's not about cracking the Amazon ads algorithm, because it's about how much money you have to invest, and unfortunately there's not much. But like I noticed, for instance, that the Dracula by the Penguin book Dracula, right? Like it's the most sold book in the world. Like if you look for Google Dracula, Google, if you put on Amazon like Dracula book, that's the first thing that happens. Sponsored. So that means that Penguin Books must spend maybe millions just on one title. Incredible. So yeah, it's all money. So what can you do? Sorry, I'm really like. So yeah, the self-publishing might be. It's not. Yeah, exactly right. That could do. I tell you, it's not simple. You really have to learn how to produce a book, because as you can imagine, everybody's doing it, right? Because books, I can tell you, folks, books still sell. And I think books still sell because they're relatively cheap to buy, and most people buy them and sit them on the shelves and never, ever, ever touch them. It's a lot of people buy books as maybe as a, how do you say, as a feature of the house, which is great. I mean, I love books. I'm surrounded by books, so of course I understand that. But people buy books. But remember, it's not just about doing it and putting it out. First of all, it must look good. You must learn how to produce a good looking book. Yeah, I have invested in things like Vellum. I have invested in things like InDesign to learn how to make it look good. And you have to learn, how to. I mean, this cover is okay because I did it myself. If I were to publish something mine, I would definitely, hire an illustrator to do a proper cover, because I'm not an illustrator. But there, not only you have to do that, and then you cannot just have it seated there, right? Even if you sell it to your friends, how many friends do you have, right? And something that I learned as a writer and previously as a musician, do not do not count on your friends to support you, because they're your friends, or your family. Some will, many won't. Mostly because they will forget and say, hey, you know what, like, oh, you've done this, cool, and that's it. You have to find, if you want to go this path, you have to find like an audience that respects you, respect your work, as it's interested in your voice, and it's not easy, right? Not easy at all. So, and then you have to invest in ads. I mean, if so book needs to look good, the content must be good, like, of course it must be a good book. You have to find an audience, and you have to invest in ads. There's no way around it. If you just put it out there, I think you're going to be a little bit disappointed by the result. And so, like, when you're disappointed, I mean, at least the way I work, maybe it's different for you, but if I'm disappointed with the result, then I don't want to do it again, right? Because it's like, so I always try to maximize results so I don't get sidetracked, pretty much. Folks, I think, I need to wrap this up, because I'm starting to get a little bit worse here. I need to get my meds. I didn't get any questions on magic, but you know what? It's good like this anyway. I think I did have somebody was asking me about Nema on Mighty Networks, but I will get to that to the next Rumble Nomicon, which is our. I'm bringing back the Rumble Nomicon. Rumble Nomicon was our monthly, well, weekly ones live stream, but it was a private live stream. So person asked me about Nema and Math Magic, and the next Ian, we're gonna do this on the 12th of January at our next Rumble Nomicon. Because today I'm gonna sign out now. It's been a pleasure to spend some time with you. And once again, Merry Yule, Merry Christmas, Merry Krampus, as I have here over here. And I don't know, maybe I'll see you again sometime soon, or maybe not. You can find me on social media for as long as we still have to suffer it. For the time being, it's been a pleasure. It's been nice. Thank you. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love and the will.